the Ancient Radio Players bring you Sleepy Hollow, the ride across America. This is a unique evening of audio theater, as we have partnered with other groups similar to ours to produce a special Halloween treat. This evening, a handful of audio theater groups across the U.S. are performing adaptations of The Legend of Sleepy Hollow by Washington Irving. The Post-Meridian Radio Players in Boston, they're performing a traditional version of the famous story. The Seattle Radio Theater is performing a modern version of the tale. And since the adaptations become more modernized as we move west, and because we're in the Midwest, or that's where they put us, our version is set in the late 19th century in what was then Indian Territory. But no matter the century, the place, or the surroundings, dark things stir and awaken as Halloween offers that one time of the year where the night has more power, more fear, and more terror. And with these thoughts in mind, the Ancient Radio Players bring you Sleepy Hollow, the ride across America. Recently, Dr. Bromberg, a professor of history at the University of Oklahoma, came across documents of some interest concerning the days of Indian Territory and a legend that haunted the Creek tribe in what is now eastern Oklahoma. That discovery was the lost papers of Alexander Posey, Creek poet, politician, and humorist. In these papers, Dr. Bromberg discovered a fascinating native legend near the tribal town of Kealegi near Wetumpka. It seems that shortly after the war between the states, a strange apparition on horseback began appearing near the tribal town. The Miko, or the leader, called the elders and medicine man to determine the darkness invading their peaceful town. According to Posey's document, recorded some years later, the men saw the apparition and determined that it was a restless spirit of one of their own who was cut down during the Battle of Honey Springs during the war. His restlessness, they suggested, was due to the fact that he had lost his head in the battle and was looking for it so he could finally be at peace. The years passed, and the people in the tribal town who fondly nicknamed their area Sleepy Hollow still talked of the restless Indian still searching for his lost head. And its nickname? The Headless Horseman of Sleepy Hollow. We visit this place through the Posey lost documents. It is after the land run, and white settlers have mixed with the native populace, and unsteady peace exists between the two peoples. Schools are started to teach the young natives, alliances are formed, an uncertain future unfolds. But in the taverns late at night, there is still talk of a solitary ghostly figure riding through the hollow. Hey,
No, you can laugh all you want. You can laugh all you want. I'm telling you, I've seen it with my own 2 eyes.
Oh, are you sure, Burton? You're known to see things at night, especially after you've been in here for a few hours.
That's right, Burton. Don't you remember last fall when you thought you saw a herd of unicorns on that Indian's place over there by the Canadian River?
Yeah.
And come to find out they were nothing but a couple of bucks to go.
That's right, yeah, Miss Schwartz, I remember that too now that you mentioned it.
Now, I think there's something more to that, Mrs. Schwartz. Them unicorns must have been changed before I could get a real good look at them. That's what it was. It had to be some medicine man playing around with my head.
That wouldn't take much since you don't have much in it.
Aw, we ought to let up on him, Higgins. He is, after all, a paying customer. We don't want to run him off.
Yeah, and he's had a bit too much, you know.
I have not. I barely touched anything tonight.
3 drinks by my count, Burton.
See, I ain't even got winded yet.
You should just keep your big mouth shut, Burton. When you see things like that, you'll get a reputation.
Who says he ain't got one already?
That's true.
Well, you laugh all you want. I know what I saw that night. I know what I seen out there. The land may have been free for the taking during the land run.
Oh, or if you came early, you old sooner.
Well, now, keep down, I ain't talking about that.
I know, I was.
Now, I'm just letting you two know that there are some things out there tonight that'll make your blood turn to water.
Like what? Now you're telling us that you've seen this headless ghost out there in the dark?
Is that what you're saying, Burton?
Well, now let's just say that me and that headless engine have met up.
Ha!
We did. I'm telling you, I saw the thing that one night. I know it was him out there looking for his missing head of his.
Is this the booze talking, Burton?
Give me the holy book, Mrs. Schwartz. I'll put my right hand on it and swear.
All right then, what did you see?
Like I said, I saw the horseman out there that night.
Where?
The road leading out of Kyleaky.
I know it.
Well, I was riding old Daisy right clip from seeing a couple of friends of mine down by the river.
Corn liquor, that's what it is.
Could be, but that's beside the point.
It is if you had a bottle of it.
I hadn't. It wasn't cooked up yet. Anyway, it was late at night, probably nigh on 4 o'clock or so. I was riding my horse on the north side of the Canadian River and heading home, and that's when I saw it.
What?
Something out of the corner of my eye. Couldn't make it out at first. But Daisy could. She bolted for the old bridge built back there in the war.
It's a wonder it didn't fall in on you.
I know, but I couldn't make her turn.
Did you spur?
With everything I had. And he moved in behind me on the blackest horse you ever seen. If it was a horse.
What, did it breathe fire at you?
How do you know?
Hey, I was only joking.
It did. And if you laugh, I'll knock you down.
All right. I believe you if that's the way you say you saw it.
Calm down, Burton.
You wasn't there. I saw it. Whatever was riding that horrible beast had no head, and that's the honest truth. I knew what was after me then.
Were you carrying?
A gun? Yes, I was.
And?
Well, what do you think? It's a ghost. I emptied it out and nothing happened. Well, except he sped up to catch me.
How do you know he was trying to catch you?
When his arms were reaching out for me, I figured that's when I knew, Higgins. I made for that old bridge as fast as Daisy could go. I wandered out of that valley as quick as I could. I rode her for all I had.
Well, what happened after that?
After he reached you.
The horse was gaining all the time behind me. I kept thinking the devil himself was giving him an extra push so he could catch me. I never went to Sunday school or nothing, but I prayed prayers like I'd been a parishioner all my life.
Well, I'd like to have been there to hear that.
Oh, no, you wouldn't have. Not on your life. Sure as you're born, I thought I was going to die that night. I thought the horseman was reaching out to take my own head to put where his ought to be.
And he didn't have no head.
Nary one. Just an empty space above his chest.
You were about to the bridge?
Yep. And the headless thing kicked his horse one final time as we neared the curve, the one that goes right by the bridge. I kept thinking the old Tom Burton was bound for his reward.
Whatever that might be.
And I must have got lucky, because I thought I was a goner for sure. But then a small crack of sunlight cut the sky to the east, and all of a sudden, just like he's struck by lightning, the horseman reins in that demon horse of his and disappears into the woods just shy of the bridge.
Going which way?
And back to the north through the oaks there.
Just like the legends say then.
What's that?
The old burial ground is through that stretch of woods over on the north side.
Well, that's right. I'd forgotten about that. Well, before I could even turn Daisy around, he was gone. It was unholy.
And you hadn't had a drop.
Not a one. Well, not that night anyway.
Some of the creeks that come in here say they won't go near that burial ground anymore because it's a dark place.
I can understand.
That's why they call it a dark place.
Yeah, that thing wasn't from this world. Maybe not even the one to come. He's a demon bent on finding his missing head.
And he's cursed to ride this earth looking for it.
That's the way they tell it.
Oh, I need another drink, Mrs. Schwartz.
Here, this one I'll buy.
Well, that's a first, Higgins.
Well, your story has sobered me up, and that's a bad thing.
Well, you just pray that you never get caught on that road leading out to Kyleaky late at night.
I've heard some folks say nothing living goes in there at all.
Oh, I believe it.
Is that drink for me, Mrs. Schwartz?
It is.
Good.
Don't go leave your drunk.
Ugh. How about another one?
Why don't you drink it like a normal person?
Be careful of this stuff, Higgins. It could make you go blind.
Oh, get on out of here if you're going to talk that way about me and my place.
Oh, not your place, just your liquor.
Excuse me, gentlemen and lady. I do hate to interrupt, but I couldn't help but overhear your story, and it has piqued my curiosity.
Who in the world are you, fella?
Ooh, and he uses his big words, too.
You better watch that kind of talk around here, stranger, or someone will think you're trying to put on airs around here.
Oh, I assure you, I'm not putting on any kind of airs, as you call it, sir.
Well, where are you from, mister? I mean, not around here, that's for sure.
No, sir. I just recently moved to this area.
What for?
Don't you have no manners, Higgins? We don't even know the man's name.
Oh, excuse me, madam. My name is Ichabod Crane. I'm pleased to make your acquaintance.
You're an awful nosy one, Mr. Crane.
Burton.
No, that's quite all right. I assure you, I meant no disrespect. Madam, I would like to purchase the next round of drinks for the gentleman here.
Certainly. Coming right up.
Why, it's different then. Pull on up a chair, Mr. Crane.
What are you doing here in Indian Territory, Crane?
Aren't you a nosy one?
Oh, it's quite all right. I've been employed to be the new headmaster at the school in the community.
Well, since when do we need a school around here?
Since folks need education, idiot, maybe they'll take you.
Oh, I truly doubt it, gentlemen.
You trying to be funny?
Certainly not.
Drinks.
Thanks, Mr. Schwartz.
Gentlemen, I must say that the tale that you just told has me intrigued. Is it entirely true?
Why, it is. You don't think so?
Oh, I assure you, I do not doubt what you believe you saw.
I saw it.
Oh, sometimes our commitment to veracity blinds us to...
Whoa, what's that again? Who?
Sometimes when we are excitable, we imagine things that may not be there.
Oh.
I saw it. Well, you can ask anyone around here who's seen it. They'll tell you it's true.
It's fascinating. Truly remarkable. I had no idea that there were such activities around this part of the country.
Oh, it's just talk, Mr. Crane. Don't let that scare you away from living here.
Oh, quite the contrary, Mrs. Schwartz. I find it stimulating.
Well, now listen here, teacher. This headless horseman's been seen by lots of folks around here, like I said. Well, you just ask them. They just don't want to talk about it because folks think they're gone crazy.
I do not think that of you, Mr. Burton.
Well, you're the only one then.
Oh, drink up and quit feeling sorry for yourself.
Oh, Bones! Bones! Hey!
Over here, pour one up for Bones, Mr. Schwartz.
Coming right up.
Mrs. Schwartz, I'm parched and dying of thirst.
Of course you are. Here you go.
How about another?
Already poured for you.
Mrs. Schwartz, you are an angel, and if anyone says any different, I'll pull their arms out their sockets.
Oh, you.
Boys,
Bones.
Bones, what you been doing?
Causing trouble most likely. You boys around the hollow here act like you own the place. All your pranks and riding through town at all hours of the night yelling and hollering.
You'd miss us if we were gone.
That's right.
come on over here, Miss Schwartz, and I'll tell you a secret about us boys from Sleepy Hollow.
What's that?
No, come closer. I don't want anyone else around here to listen in.
What is it?
It's this.
Buttons!
Now, how about that for a secret, boys? Miss Schwartz, local bar owner, likes to be kissed.
Oh, no, I do not.
She's blushing.
Oh, that's a first.
Oh, go on with you before I boot you out the door.
They say I'm too young for you, Miss Schwartz, but we know better, don't we?
Oh, go on now with you teasing me all the time. You better watch her. I might take you up on that offer.
I will. So, boys, what are you doing here wasting the day away?
Just that.
Trading stories.
No work today?
Being busy doing other things.
Like what?
Being busy.
Likely story. Stranger, you're sitting on my stool.
Oh, excuse me. I had no idea it was yours.
Oh, it's not school, teacher. He's just pulling your leg.
You see me pulling on a leg, Burton?
Oh, it's quite all right, gentlemen. I need to stretch my legs anyway.
Good. You're a school teacher.
The new one they just hired, Bones.
I was talking to the teacher, Higgins, not you.
Right, Bones.
I am the new schoolmaster for the young scholars.
Don't it beat all how he talks?
I'm about to beat something around here. Where are you from, mister?
It's Ichabod Crane, and I'm from the East.
I figured that much out. I don't need no schooling to figure that out.
Well, I'm from a little village in New York.
Oh. And what brought you here to Indian Territory?
I was ready to see a different part of the world for a change, and this area has a rich history to it. And you, Mr. Bones?
No,
is it?
mister. They call me Bones because I have a tendency to break a few around here.
And you're originally from...
Around.
Were you in the land run?
I was.
Oh, he was a mite early, if you know what I mean.
Speaking of breaking bones,
Sorry, Bones.
I will shut that mouth of yours, Burton. You too, Higgins.
I didn't say anything.
You thought it.
I didn't.
Now I'm a liar?
There were a great many people in the land run, yes?
There was.
I imagine the Indians weren't very obliging about it.
You don't know the half of it.
I can see where having your land taken away from you and given away to someone else would be difficult.
They'll learn to live with it.
We were just talking about a certain Indian, Bones.
Oh, yeah? Which one? Not that creep poet again who keeps running around here. What's his name?
Oh, Alexander Posey.
Yeah, that's the one.
He's the man who contacted me about the teaching position out here. He seems like a nice man.
Shows what little you know, teacher. How is it that us educated know more than you bookworms?
I'm sure I don't know.
Of course you don't. What Indian were you talking about?
You know,
No, I don't. That's why I asked you.
that one.
Oh, that one. Still yellow about it, are you, Burton?
Oh, no, I wouldn't say that, Bum.
I would.
Oh, shut up, Higgins.
Why don't you both shut up? Let's hear what the school teacher has to say about it.
Well,
Speak up, mister.
it's Crane. Ichabod Crane.
Ichabod Crane. Sure sounds like you're from the east somewhere with a name like that. What do you think about our neighborhood ghost around here?
Oh, I'm very intrigued by it, Mr. Bones.
Just bones.
Yes, of course. I have a scholarly interest in such things, Bones.
You do.
Oh, yes. I think that this Indian's ghost that haunts the valley is extremely fascinating.
It's more fascinating than you might think, school teacher.
Oh?
Sure. When do you start teaching school, Crane?
Next week. The children will be coming in right after fall planting.
Well, teacher, you got a few days to kill around here. What are you gonna do? Hunt down your ghost?
Oh, no. I've been asked to teach singing to a Miss Tassel.
Katrina?
Yes, I do believe that is her name.
Since when does she care about singing?
Since I moved into the area. Bones.
I see.
Gentlemen, I will now be on my way.
Be careful out there, Crane. Make sure you don't go riding near the burial ground after dark.
Bones.
What? I just want to make sure nothing happens to our new school teacher.
Thank you.
Oh, sure. Don't mention it.
Shall we gather at the river, washing up its silver spread?
You stopped, Miss Tassel.
I just can't seem to hit that note exactly right, Mr. Crane. I do apologize.
Oh, not at all. You will get it eventually. Practice, practice. You do know what they say about practice, don't you?
Why, no, I suppose I don't. What do they say?
That it makes perfect.
If only.
Practice. Practice and you will get that song down and will be able to sing it in church come Sunday morning.
I'm not so sure, Mr. Crane. My daddy tells me all the time that to sing good and proper, it would take a miracle.
Oh, no, ma'am, not at all. No disrespect meant to your father, but I have to disagree with him. You have the voice of an angel. I hope I'm not too forward, but you have the sweetest voice in the choir.
Bones says I sing like a vulture.
Oh, don't you believe it. And certainly not from the likes of Bones. He wouldn't know sweet music if it came and landed on his shoulder.
That's probably true, but I wouldn't tell him that.
And why is that?
Let's just say that Bones used his brawn over his brains.
Oh, I see.
Let's take a break, shall we? Would you like some refreshment?
That would be wonderful.
I've heard from some of the families you've been staying with in the valley that you like to eat.
Well, I don't know about that.
And so skinny, too. Daddy thinks your pants look like a double-barrel shotgun.
Oh, my. I must admit that I do admire the cooking of the ladies in the valley.
I've heard. How does a glass of tea sound?
Like something to drink.
I also have some blueberry pie, a bit of cake, and some sweet cornbread and butter. Which do you prefer?
I'm of the opinion that to really know a young lady's ability in the kitchen, I must sample a little bit of each often.
Of course.
Thank you for your hospitality.
I'll get it for you.
Miss Tassel,
You may call me Katrina.
that would be forward, wouldn't it?
Not at all. And I'll call you Ichabod.
Of course.
Here's your tea and a sampling of a little bit of everything I made.
Thank you. It looks divine. Miss, Katrina, may I ask you a question?
Certainly. What is it?
All this land I spy out your window here, does it all belong to your father?
Yes, it does. He owns everything you see on down to the stream and right into the west side of the valley, right up to the burial ground.
Oh, I see.
He got most of it during the land run, and he bought other claims over the years.
Isn't that nice for you?
So they tell me.
They?
Bones for one, and others.
Your father must be one of the most successful farmers in the entire valley.
He is. Daddy has definitely made himself quite a fortune here in Indian Territory.
Isn't that wonderful?
And, of course, I'll inherit it since I'm his only child.
Even better.
How so?
Oh, it's a wonderful blessing from a father to his daughter and her future husband.
But a lot of work.
He does have hired hands, yes?
By the wagon load.
Oh, your food is truly delightful.
I do most of the cooking around here, you know.
I did not know that.
Now you do.
It all just melts in my mouth.
That's the butter.
Is it? Well, it's divine.
Oh, go on.
Oh, I certainly could.
You flatter me, but it's not all that much.
Oh, it's a feast.
Again, thank you.
And you say that your father owns the land right next to the Indian burial ground?
He tried to get that too, but he couldn't.
Why is that, may I ask?
You may. I probably shouldn't tell you, but it was the Indians.
The Creeks?
Yes, the poet Alexander Posey interfered with the sale.
He did? How?
You have to understand that my father isn't a superstitious man. He is a practical man in every way, and the land run started him on his way. He wanted that burial ground land badly, and then Mr. Posey found out about it and talked to the tribe about hanging on to it.
Was he angry with Mr. Posey?
At first he was.
At first?
I really shouldn't say.
Oh, it's quite all right. I know how to keep a secret.
He wanted to show Mr. Posey that there wasn't anything to their warnings about, well, about...
The Headless Horseman?
Yes. So, you know?
I've heard the stories. So he stayed up there?
He did. He thought that by staying up there, he could convince the tribe to let it go. The way he tells it, the night wind was really blowing and leaves were all over the place. He took his rifle out for protection.
Oh, excuse me.
A couple of hours after midnight, Daddy said the strangest thing happened. The wind stopped all of a sudden, and he didn't hear anything. No birds, nothing at all. And then, off in the distance, just on the other side of the burial ground, he heard hoofbeats.
Hoofbeats?
He heard them off and on for hours after that. And then just shy of dawn, he heard the hoofbeats getting close to where he was. What was left of the moonlight shone on a horse with a headless Indian riding on the back.
What did your father do?
He ran for his life, and on foot no less. He said he saw sparks shooting off the horse's hooves. He tried to get a shot up, but he didn't get a chance.
How did he escape?
He ran straight for that old bridge that spans the creek near there. He said the hoofs sounded like a thunderstorm. He ran as hard as he could across the bridge and slipped behind a tree to get off a shot.
Did he?
No! As soon as he crossed the bridge, the sound of the hoofbeats and the horse with its headless rider disappeared.
Fascinating. That is truly fascinating.
And every word of it true.
Oh, I don't doubt it.
That's funny.
Why?
Because for years, some of our neighbors poked fun at Daddy.
Oh, no, I believe in your apparition.
I see.
There are similar stories all over these great United States.
There are?
Oh, certainly. Have you heard of Cotton Mather?
Does he live around here?
Oh, no. He wrote a book entitled History of New England Witchcraft. It's a collection of some of the more famous ghost stories around this country.
Is our ghost in the book?
Oh, no, but it would be if Mather knew about it. There's a similar tale told in the Hudson River Valley area. Their ghost is purported to be the shade of a dead Hessian soldier.
And this ghost is headless too?
He's said to be, yes.
And he's searching for his lost head?
That's what the legend states. On a fiery steed.
Speaking of a fiery steed.
Who is that riding so fast?
Why, it's Bones! Let's go and say hello.
Of course.
Brom, what are you in such a hurry for this afternoon?
Hello there, ma'am. I wanted to see if you wanted to go for a ride with me. Let's get that best mare of yours and have a picnic.
Hello, Bones. That's a fantastic mount you have there.
Oh, hello there, school teacher. What are you doing out here?
Having some of the best cake and pie I've ever tasted.
Really?
He's giving me singing lessons.
What are the young scholars doing today, Mr. Crane?
They are taking the day to assist with fall harvest, the corn and some hay. Miss Tassel, Katrina, agreed to having a lesson this afternoon.
You ought to stay and sing with us, Bones.
Not on your life.
Do you not attend Sunday morning services?
Have you seen me there?
Not yet, but I'm holding out hope.
You do that.
We're singing Shall We Gather at the River.
Good for you. Listen, Katrina, let's take some of that pie and cake and go find a shade tree somewhere. You haven't ridden that mare of yours in weeks.
Well, now, Bones, I did commit myself this afternoon for this singing lesson.
And excellent conversation as well.
Uh-huh.
Maybe another day, Bones.
We'll see. Good day, Katrina. School teacher. Ha!
Good day, Bones. Have a wonderful afternoon.
Something funny, Ichabod?
Funny? Oh, nothing. Nothing at all. Now, Katrina, where were we? Oh, yes. Let's get back to the hymn.
Are you done with your cake and pie?
Why, yes, thank you so much.
We better finish up, Ichabod. It will be time for supper pretty soon.
Well, now, you know what I say, Katrina. Practice makes perfect. We may have to work right up to supper time.
That's awfully late for you.
Not at all. I'm sure I could stay for supper if that would suit you.
I'll have to check with Mother.
All right, now, shall we gather at the river?
Shall we gather at the river where... Bones!
Hey, Bones, pull up a chair.
Have a drink. Miss Schwartz, give Bones a drink.
Already poured.
Thanks, Miss Schwartz. I'm needed.
Another?
What do you think?
I'll get it for you.
Do that.
Bones, what's wrong with you?
Blasted school teacher ought to break his neck.
The school teacher?
Ichabod Crane.
I know his name.
What about him, Bones?
He's up there at the Tassel place right now, teaching her to sing, giving her singing lessons.
Who's he teaching?
Katrina, you idiot. Who do you think I'm talking about?
Here goes, Bones.
One more for good measure.
All right.
What, you think he's beating your time up there?
You think that's funny, Higgins?
I ain't laughing. Did you hear me laughing?
What about you, Burton?
Oh, come on, Bones. We didn't do nothing. Now, you're just mad at the school teacher.
I am. I'd give him a whipping if I didn't think half the women of this valley would hate me for it.
Especially Katrina.
What do you mean by
Well,
that?
now calm down, Bones. Everybody around here knows you're sparking for her.
Why doesn't she know it?
She does. She just yanking you around by the bridle like you was a horse.
I don't like it. I don't like that school teacher.
You know, folks begin to talk about them too.
They are? What are they saying?
Now that he's hanging around because he has his heart set on old man Tassel's farm.
They're saying that?
Most folks think it's true.
Here's your drink, Bones.
Thank you, Miss Schwartz.
Well, you're welcome.
Miss Schwartz,
Yep.
what's the talk about this Crane fellow and Katrina?
Enough that I should keep my nose out of it.
Oh, it's like that, is it? Well, I want him out of this valley.
Well, now you can't just call and run him off, Bones. He's a schoolmaster here. Right now in Indian Territory, they're hard to find and keep around.
Well, now, the folks around here like what he's doing with their children.
Yeah, you know, half the women both think he hung the moon because he talks so smart and plays the piano, teaches them how to sing.
Yeah, there has to be a way of running him out of here without raising anyone's suspicions.
Maybe there is. You don't want to rough him up none. The last thing you need is all the women around here after you for messing with their precious school teacher.
I'm listening.
You heard him talk about his interest in ghosts and spooks and such like.
I have.
Oh, I got you, Higgins. You know, it might work.
I'm not on board, boys. What are you talking about?
Well, he's a believer in that stuff.
So?
So we give him a reason to.
How?
You're known for a prank or two, Bones.
Yeah, why not make him think his precious schoolhouse is bewitched by something?
Yeah, you get him worried about that, and he won't be paying no attention to Katrina.
I like it, boys. I like it a lot. Let's make it good.
He locks that school up tighter than an Indian drum at night.
Well, now you leave that to me. I hadn't met a lock yet. Didn't become a friend of mine, if you know what I mean.
We get in there and make it look like the spooks have got it in for him personally.
We turn some desks over.
Yeah, scatter some of the books around.
Mess around there in the stove.
Yes, and that way we know for sure we can put a scare into anybody. Better still, you never laid a finger on him.
Good. We do it tonight, boys. We do it tonight. Get that door open, Burton.
I'm doing the best I can.
I thought you said every lock was a friend of yours.
Give me a minute.
We don't have that long. Get us in there.
This lock is contrary.
Get out of the way and I'll bust it in.
No, don't. He'll get it.
God.
Okay, go to it, boys. Rake it up good and don't destroy nothing too bad. Make it look like a haunting, not just some ruffians tearing up the place.
Let's get to it.
Right you are, boys.
Oh dear, oh dear. What a tremendous mess we have here. Who or what could have done this? Yes, who is it?
It's me, Ichabod. May I come in?
Mr. Posey. Yes, do come in, the door is unlocked.
Ichabod. What in the world has happened here?
I have no idea. The schoolhouse was like this when I arrived this morning.
Vandals, I suppose.
Or, well, it could be worse, possibly.
Worse than vandals? Oh, here, let me help you clean up.
No, I wouldn't hear of it. Excuse the disarray. Oh my. I'm sorry, I had no idea you were due for a visit to the school today.
Well, I wasn't. I was close by. I was visiting the tribal town and some of the leaders there, and I thought I would come by and say hello.
I'm sorry that the students won't be here today.
Fall harvest?
Yes, they should be back tomorrow.
Work, play, and education, Ichabod. A good balance for any young person.
I'm in complete agreement.
What were you referring to earlier about something worse doing this?
Oh, nothing, Mr. Posey. Are you here to see the progress of the Indian students enrolled here? I have their papers.
No. I'm more interested in what you are referring to. My responsibilities to the Creek tribe can wait a few minutes.
Well, sir, I wouldn't want to compromise myself, but...
You've heard about our famous, rather infamous resident here in the Hollow, haven't you?
Yes, I have.
I see.
But if you must know, I'm an avid reader of the mystical and mysterious.
I knew that when you said you owned a copy of Mather's book.
Oh, yes. I remember telling you that.
I don't think he's too concerned about vandalizing school rooms, Ichabod.
I agree, but this area seems rich with something.
Something? Well, I know a man in the tribe who would call it the spirits not being settled.
That's it. That's exactly it. Do you believe in such things, Mr. Posey?
And I'm a Creek, Ichabod, but I'm also a man of letters. Let's just say I keep an open mind.
No one seems to know the origin of the story.
Ah, I see. The man I told you of could.
Who is he?
A man of medicine, so to speak.
A doctor?
Of a sort, yes. A medicine man for the people.
A medicine man?
Yes. We call him a Helesh Heya, who makes Heleshwa. Very strong, too.
Medicine?
Yes, he knows the story and has told it to me.
Won't you tell me?
Oh, since you're interested, yes, I'll tell it to you. Now, not many of the whites here know it. They only know that there's a ghost in the woods near the burial ground.
And that isn't a new tale either. The Germans have their own version, and so do the Dutch.
Yes, near the Hudson River area. I know of these stories. There's also a story of something similar in India and Ireland.
You've read these as well?
Certainly. I am a scholar, and when members of the tribe reported seeing something out there at night, I began researching it.
Is it an old story then?
Not so old. Only as old as the war between the states.
Oh, the battle that was fought here at that depot. Where was that?
Honey Springs. The Confederates lost due to poor equipment and bad leadership. Well, or so they say.
This is the origin of the story.
Yes, my friend, the Helishaya, he fought there on the side of the Confederacy.
He was there.
Yes. An exchange of artillery ensued and guns were knocked out. During the barrage, a group of Creek soldiers misunderstood the order to retreat as an order to charge and did just that.
Oh my.
And one of the men, well, his head was blown off.
Dear me.
These things happen in war, Ichabod. The remains of the man received burial from the medicine man.
Your friend?
Oh, no. The man he trained with. The medicine man said that this man's body was cursed with much anger.
That would explain his apparition haunting the hollow here.
If you believe in that sort of thing.
Do you?
As I said, I try to keep an open mind. Many have claimed to see the ghost still clothed in his battle dress, searching for something in the valley.
His lost head.
So the story goes, yes.
I, for one, would like to see this creature.
Be careful, Ichabod. Things we wish for may come to pass.
Yes.
Hello, Mr. Crane?
Yes, is it Jenkins?
Yes, sir, Bertram Jenkins.
Do come in.
I'm sorry, Mr. Crane. I'm a bit of a hurry. I'm out delivering invites to the big shindig the Tassel family's having over at the place tomorrow night. That's why I'm here to give you your invitation.
What kind of shindig?
Oh, they do one every year, Mr. Crane. They'll be dancing, good conversation, refreshments for everybody. Can you tell them you'll be there?
Why, certainly, Mr. Jenkins. I wouldn't miss this little world.
Oh, thank you. Have a good day now.
Oh, yes. Thank you.
It is a good get-together, Ichabod. You'll have a wonderful time.
Are you going?
Well, I can't this year. I have some writing deadlines to keep.
Oh, that's too bad.
Have a glass of punch for me.
I will.
And Ichabod,
Yes, Mr. Posey.
be careful of staying too late tomorrow night. I wouldn't get too close to the burial ground if I were you.
Of course. I won't.
All right, now listen up, everyone. We want to take this time to thank the Tassel family for having us over here. Their place for this hoodoo that we are indeed grateful for. All right, folks. Now we're gonna mingle for a while. Make sure you fill your glass of punch and get acquainted with everyone.
All right.
Katrina, you are as delightful a creature as I believe I've ever laid eyes upon.
You flatter me, Ichabod. Will you have some more pie?
I will. Thank you. I'd also love to have some cake as well, if that's all right.
Help yourself. You gotta keep your strength up.
I do with that. Those children at the school were chasing me around after them all day.
I'm sure they were.
Katrina, you keep looking at the door. Is there someone you're waiting on to arrive?
Oh, no, I'm just seeing who's here and who couldn't make it this year. I see that Indian Rider didn't make it.
Alexander Posey. No, he said he couldn't make it.
That's too bad. I enjoyed his conversation.
All right, ladies and gents, Bones is here. Let the party commence.
All right,
He does cause a commotion, doesn't he?
He does at that.
I'm sure it's one of his charming attributes.
Why, Ichabod, I do believe that you're jealous.
Of course not. Whatever gave you that idea?
You are. That's who. And Bones is who he is. You two are as different as night and day.
Which do you like, Katrina?
What's that?
Night or day?
I'll leave you to your pie and other goodies, Ichabod. I'm going to play dutiful hostess.
Katrina,
Hello, Bones. Late, I see.
I had some work to be done before I came to your fancy party.
Which you didn't dress for, I see.
What? I dressed in my Sunday finest.
That's your Sunday finest.
That's all I have.
You're quite the scoundrel, aren't you, Bones?
Some say so. Where have you been?
Entertaining our guests.
Who's here?
Take a look for yourself, silly. I was just visiting with our school teacher.
Crane? What the devil for?
He's one of the few around here who offers stimulating conversation.
What do you want that for?
A lady likes these kinds of things, Bones.
Out on the prairie. This is Indian territory, Katrina.
It is right now, but what about when it becomes a state? Ruffians and outlaws won't last this place forever.
Shows what you know.
You'll see.
All I know is that I want something to drink and munch on, and then I want to dance.
A dance? Well, who would dance with you?
You will.
Bones, now don't you do that. I'm ticklish.
I didn't know that.
Now don't do that. I'll show you to the food line.
Let's do that.
Hello, Mr. Crane. How are you this evening?
I was doing fine until...
Until?
Oh, Mrs. Schwartz, how are you?
I'm well. And yourself, Mr. Cartwell?
All the better for your blackberry cobbler, I'm sure.
Why, thank you. Did you leave some for Mr. Crane?
What? Oh, yes. As a matter of fact, I did have some.
Did you enjoy it?
Oh, yes, of course. It was very tasty.
Thank you.
Oh, there's school teacher.
Hello, Mr. Caldwell. How are things over at the blacksmith shop?
Very well, thank you. Mind you, I've had a strange business the other day.
You did? Well, do tell.
My old man Brewer brought in his horse to be shoed the other day, and when the horse's shoes were worn out, something fierce.
Old man Brewer is known to be a bit tight-fisted with his money.
No, but that wasn't it. Told me the strangest story.
Strange how?
Well, didn't know you were listening, Mr. Crane. Thought you were watching a couple dancing out there.
Well, what is his story of brewers?
Well, I'd have him tell you himself, but he's sworn off mingling with people of the valley for a while. Plans on staying close to his place.
And why is that?
Well, as most folks around here know, Brewer's an unbeliever in things outside the realm of nature.
Supernatural, you mean?
I do with that.
That's what folks know him for in these parts.
That's for certain. Now he's a believer.
Well, what happened to him? Did he ever run in with our headless Indian?
Now that is exactly what he said happened.
When was this?
Oh, just t'other night.
But when?
Oh, first crack of the new moon.
The night the schoolhouse was turned over.
What's that, Mr. Crane?
Oh, nothing. Go ahead with your story, Mr. Caldwell.
Yeah, go ahead with your story.
Brewer was out carousing and playing cards over at the tavern just on the edge of the North Canadian River.
I know where that place is. Cheap liquor if there ever was any.
Well, that's true, but as you say, Brewer's a tight-fisted man sometimes. Anyway, he leaves after midnight and comes near the old burial grounds. Said it was over on the western edge, close to the bridge. Then all of a sudden, a rider comes up behind him.
Oh, dear.
Was it the horseman?
Well, he wasn't so sure at first, but when the moon came out from behind the clouds, he could tell it was the ghost. Gaining ground on him, too. Rode his horse for all he had.
Was he hurt?
Well, not much, and the horseman caught him near the bridge, and he turned into a skeleton right in front of him. Threw Brewer into the creek there.
Turned into a skeleton.
That's what he said.
Well, that's a new one.
He said the ghost shot up over the treetops and disappeared with a clap of thunder. Got on his horse and come home quick. Brought his brood into the shop the next day and told me his tale.
I do believe I've lost my appetite.
If you've lost your appetite, Mr. Crane, then you must really be frightened.
Well, let's just say intrigued.
With that, Ichabod?
Oh, hello, Katrina.
You look pale as a ghost, Mr. Crane.
More stories about the headless horseman.
Oh, him. I've had my own run-in with that devil.
You have?
Well, I haven't heard you talk about it, Bones.
It was nothing, really. I was out riding near the burial ground at night when he come up behind me. I challenged the old boy to a race for a drink. I spurred Daredevil for all he had and beat that demon to the bridge. Just as soon as I knew it, as soon as he knew he'd been beat, he vanished in a flash of fire. I was mad because I won and wanted that drink.
Our valley ghost's getting more active, I'd say.
Katrina, I need a breath of fresh air. Would you accompany me?
Certainly, Ichabod. We'll be right back.
Looks like that school teacher's beating your time, Bones.
Oh, really? Stick around. We'll see.
It's quite a lovely evening.
Yes, it is.
Katrina, I was wondering, well,
Yes?
would you like to go on a picnic tomorrow?
Tomorrow? I thought we had a singing lesson.
I thought we might forego the lesson for a picnic instead.
Now, Ichabod, I'm not sure what you're thinking, but you are a good friend and my singing teacher, nothing more.
What? But I thought you led me to believe that...
Now, Ichabod, why don't you go back into the house, get a fresh piece of pie, and ask Mrs. Schwartz to dance with you?
I have never... I will not. I will say my goodbyes, and then I am leaving.
Well, that's all right too, Ichabod, if that's what you want to do.
That's where I come from. They have words for women such as yourself, Katrina.
Don't you say them around Bones. He may get mad. Good night.
Unbelievable. Shall we gather at the river? Oh. What was that, gunpowder? Nothing but an owl. I don't think those stories about the horsemen are good for me, gunpowder. Especially at night. The bridge should be up here shortly. Maybe I'll whistle a tune instead of singing. What was that, gunpowder? I know it wasn't an owl. I don't know if I can take this tonight, gunpowder. Whoa, gunpowder, whoa. There's another rider back there, gunpowder. Who are you? Hello? I know he heard me. Wonder who it is. Hello? Who are you? This is getting quite agitating. Moon is just now coming through the treetops. Then maybe we'll see who's up there in the glen. All I can really see is the horse. It's huge. One of the biggest I've ever seen. The rider's all in black. What's that on his saddle horn? Can't quite make it out. Now I can see his face more clearly, gunpowder. Oh no, there isn't any face, because he doesn't have a head. It's the headless horseman. Giddy up, gunpowder. He's after us. Run faster. He'll catch us up for sure. Run. Oh no, he's gaining on us. His fox flying off of the horse's hooves, gunpowder. He has a hard cut to his saddle horn faster. Run. Giddy up faster. If I can but reach that bridge, then I will be safe. He won't come after me if I cross that church bridge. Hurry, gunpowder! Hurry! He's right behind us! No!
All I can find is his hat, Mr. Cartwell.
Yes, sir, Mr. Posey, and found his saddle a ways back. Must have lost it in the gallop with that old horse when he galloped towards the bridge.
Is the horse hurt?
Well, all I can see is,
I say, is that horse hurt?
no, that's the funny thing. I found him over behind those trees eating grass.
Very odd indeed. Maybe Ichabod is hurt, out of his mind, out of his head maybe.
Well, anything's possible.
I suppose I'll need to teach his students for the day. I hope we'll find him soon. But we didn't find him soon, or ever again. I took his hat, satchel, 2 shirts that he had, his scant collection of books, and a few other knickknacks, and gave them to Mrs. Schwartz. I'm sure she disposed of them. We found a new school teacher, and the memory of Ichabod Crane soon faded into another story about the headless horseman. Katrina married Bones, as most around here knew she would. Indian Territory eventually became a state. I had nearly forgotten about Ichabod myself until just today when Mr. Cartwell visited me. He swore up and down that Crane is still alive and well and living back east in Virginia. He left it either because of his fear of the horseman or because of Bones and Katrina spurning him. Cartwell said Ichabod had turned to studying the law and was entering politics. Funny thing, though, I've seen Bones recently, and Crane's name was mentioned along with his famous last ride here in the Hollow, and Bones laughs at the story every time. The Creeks have built a new road skirting around our burial ground and the bridge, but even with that, some around here still claim to have seen the Headless Horseman riding through the night, still searching for his lost head. And it's here that Posey's notes end in his journal. But still today, near modern-day Wetumpka, people still talk about the ghostly figure that rides through the countryside near the now grown-up burial ground. And they still warn visitors out there not to wander near there at night for fear of meeting the Headless Horseman. Folks, we want to thank you for joining us with our presentation of the Legend of Sleepy Hollow tonight. With our cast tonight, we have B.J. Eckert, Katie Caton, Kevin Warden, Sean Martin, myself, Brett Jones, and on music, Jonathan Baum Boyd. We sure hope you enjoyed tonight's audio theater show. And remember, as you dress up and go out trick-or-treating, and you hear strange hoofbeats and see a ghostly figure on horseback, it's not your imagination. It's the Headless Horseman making his nightly ride. From everyone in the Ancient Radio Players, have a happy Halloween. Thank you.